Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another Kane's Wrath series here. We have two very good players, and starting in the top right-hand corner of the map is the red GDI Vanilla is none other than Bike Rush Owns. And his opponent sliding to the bottom left-hand corner is the yellow Steel Talons. It is Senna, the ultimate army spammer Q-move king. And this is a series from the 1.03 League, which means we're going to see a bit of a different unit composition, a bit of a different feel to the game than what we're used to seeing on the channel. A bit of 1.03 casting. I do upload a bit of FPV with 1.03, but none of... I don't think I've casted a single 1.03 game on this channel. But here we are. We've got Senna in the bottom left-hand corner. Bike Rush up here in its north. And I just want to apologize for the lack of videos as of late. I have been having issues with my internet, and it just makes it really hard to upload videos. I was also having a few of my files have corrupted and stuff like that, but I think I've sorted it all now. I'm not having any more issues, so hopefully there should be a flurry of videos with the content that I have stored up over the last few days, the last few weeks even. I am recording this. This should be out pretty much the same day, and then there'll be a lot of content coming out that's been recorded over the past few weeks, over the next few days. So obviously the early scouting battles here, Rifleman versus Rifleman, it's GDI and Steel Talons. And Steel Talons are one of the scariest factions in 1.03 simply because of all the Mammoth buffs. Mammoth tanks are an absolute force to be reckoned with. They're easily the best tier 3 unit in the game. Tripods obviously are still very powerful with their EMP, and they're just a strong unit in general. And Avatars, obviously, they've sort of been buffed in a weird way. Their beam cannon and bike upgrades have been buffed, so the base Avatar I don't believe has had any difference to it, other than it has an EMP immunity similar to the MCV. For Nod, it can be EMP'd once and it will actually repower itself up. But other than that, the Avatar is practically the same. But Mammoth tanks, man, they've had their range buffed, and when you buff the range of the Mammoth tank, it becomes such a weapon because it actually shoots back, and that was usually the issue in 1.02, is that you would build Mammoth tanks and they would die before they could even fight back. But here we are. Bike Rush is going to try and move in with a few Pitbulls here. You'll see that the rockets from the Pitbulls shoot a lot faster as well. That's another thing you've got to consider. That barracks placement, really unfortunate. Bike Rush just doing a Bike Rush and placing a Foxhole right in front of it just to be really annoying. Now you got to remember, Harvesters are a lot weaker in this as well, so they take a lot less shots to die, but they're cheaper and the refineries are cheaper. So obviously there's a lot of changes in this patch, and I will try to, if an interaction happens that I know there's been a change on, I will make sure to explain it. Nothing going on over there, but Bike Rush already has a second refinery down. Senna is a long way from it still, maybe 5 seconds away. And he actually did lose a power plant to those Riflemen in the back of his base as well, so that's really painful. But the Pitbulls are starting to make a move across the map. Bike Rush has so many Harvesters. He has 9 Harvesters. Although Senna, I think, had 9, but he did lose 1. He's rebuilt it now, and the Pitbulls are going to make a move into the base of Bike Rush on the expansion here. But I think there's a little bit too much here with the Watchtowers. There's now 3 Pitbulls here. Rockets are going to start coming out. Senna's probably just going to have to retreat. Yeah, he's not going to be able to achieve too much there. And there he goes. And Bike Rush will chase these Pitbulls away. Actually wasting their rockets on a Rifleman here, but he is forced away here, Senna, back to his base. Has got a tier 2, as we can see that power plant has been upgraded, so he's going down the tech tree. Bike Rush has gone for a second war factory, so Senna needs to be able to hold this. There's going to be a lot more units on the map for Bike Rush than what Senna is able to produce. And the Pitbulls move to the whole right-hand side. Look at this. It's the second war factory does come down. So the tier 2 has come down. No APMO on the way, so I'm not quite sure why Senna decided to build that. These combat engineers are maybe in a little bit of trouble here. But the Pitbulls, they're just not able to shoot this down. Is he going to focus fire in front? He does. Well done by Bike Rush. He focus fires in front of the combat engineer, and the combat engineer walks into the rocket fire. Airfield comes down from Bike Rush right at the front of his base. It's in a really vulnerable position, but it does mean that they will get back to their airfield and reload a hell of a lot quicker. So it's a high risk, high reward type of placement from that airfield there. So it looks like it's just going to be Pitbulls versus Pitbulls to start this game here. Rocket Squad's being produced by Senna just to try and defend himself from any attacks. This tower has been taken, but we can see Bike Rush has been able to take this expansion point. It looks like Senna's going to try and take his as well. Tech Lab is down now and Mortars is on the way. The Orcas are out somewhere. They're on this right-hand side, but the Pitbulls are now moving into this left-hand side main base of Senna, and there's 4 Harvesters here completely undefended. Where are the Pitbulls for Senna? They're trying to make a move back across, but now the Orcas are going to make an attack on the right-hand side. There is Rocket Squad's NAA batteries to defend that. 1 Harvester has gone down, and I think a second went down as well, and the Mortars is now done for. Both players, actually. Bycrush has Mortars as well. The Orcas do go down, but he cleaned up 2 Harvesters over there as well. He only gets away with 1 Orca, but that was 4 Harvesters that have been destroyed for Senna. And he is now starting to produce his Mammoth tanks. Has he got Railguns on the way? Railguns is on the way. Juggernaut's being produced by Bycrush. So we're not going to see the Mammoths from Bycrush. It's going to be Juggernauts instead. He's got double ref on his expansion. Only 2 Harvesters there so far. So not too bad for Senna. He's not massively far behind just yet, but he is lacking on the Harvester front, I feel. Yeah, he's only... Oh, no, he's got a 5th now. He has been rebuilding from that War Factory. The Pitbulls are coming to this right-hand side. There is a refinery here, but this refinery may fall straight away. This Mammoth tank needs to move, and the Pitbulls aren't on the move either. AA battery comes down. That's not what he needs right now, and he may actually lose this expansion completely because Bycrush can quickly focus down the expansion point if he wants to. Oh, no, Bycrush, you probably could have got that, and it would have been worth it because it would have meant Senna had to build... and either a Surveyor or move over there with his MCV. And Bycrush is going to lose all his Pitbulls anyway, so he may as well have suicided them to take out that... take out the expansion point. Orcas come in again, and another raid, another Harvester goes down there. But another refinery already produced for Senna on this right-hand side. Oh, big Sonic emitter hits 2... Pitbulls there. He's probably going to get that Harvester if he's focus firing. He's not focus firing. There's Orcas here flying around. I'm not quite sure what this is about. There's a lot of upgraded power plants here. Yeah, Senna should be targeting them down, but oh, there's Zone Troopers here now. Another Sonic emitter comes down. 1 power plant does go down. And a Marv is on the way. Juggernaut's moving to the right-hand side of the map. I'm not sure about the Juggernauts, to be honest. On a map this flat and open, if the Mammoth tanks are able to get in range, Senna's going to find it really easy to take them out. And he has now got Railguns down, but the Zone Troopers here for Bycrush are going to be a really big issue. Senna has basically nothing to deal with Zone Troopers. He doesn't have any Hammerheads, he doesn't have any Wolverines. So these Mammoths, they're just going to get picked off because look at that, they do pitiful damage against Zone Troopers. And now the Orcas are flying back in as well, looking to try and take out some more Harvesters. 3 AA batteries here are here to defend. There's a Rocket Squad inside of that Harvester as well, but 1 Harvester does go down. Oh, he doesn't quite finish that one off. That's a bit of a miss-micro there. I don't imagine he was out of ammo because he had only shot maybe 4 rockets from each of those Orcas. And now these Juggernauts are going to make a push. Behemoth being produced by Senna. An airfield has been built here. Yeah, Hammerhead's on the way now, so he needs those Hammerheads to deal with the Zone Troopers. These Pitbulls in the back of the base are still causing issues, actually. Trying to pick off some power plants, but they will be picked off now. And this Marv, quad rail Marv from Bycrush, he's not pulling any punches when it comes to that Marv. And the Hammerhead here is going to try and just slowly pick away at the armor. He probably should be going in here and looking to try and find Zone Troopers, because it takes a long time for 1 Hammerhead to kill a Juggernaut. Spikes still have not been taken by each other. They are still held by their respective owners. And this Behemoth, unfortunately, is going to get destroyed here. And is he going to be able to take out the husk? Does he have any ammo left? No, I think he wasted his last 2 rockets on that Harvester. But this space is going to fall. That Harvester is going to escape to the bottom left-hand corner. So it will not lose its life. But I think Bycrush is in a really commanding position here. He's starting to build his own Mammoth tank. Senna's been boxed into this bottom right corner. He does have 3 refineries, but his MCV is in trouble now, and so is his Tech Lab. He's in trouble. He's got a big risk of losing his MCV here. Firehawks are now out to clean up the Hammerheads. The AA from the Mammoth tanks has been buffed quite considerably, so that does do a lot of damage. Wow, he just sells off that. Oh, he sold out. He sold out. Wow. Senna just knew he couldn't deal with that Marv. That Marv was going to kill everything at his expansion, and that would have just been the end of the game. He wouldn't have been able to fight. He wouldn't have been able to win the game with what he had left. And so Bycrush will take a 1-0 lead in the series. Senna, unfortunately, yeah, he just fell a long way behind on the economy front, didn't he? He was a lot slower at setting up that 3rd expansion, and he lost a lot of Harvesters throughout the game. And Bycrush will take that game 1-0. We'll move to game number 2. Game number 2 brings us to the map Tournament Dust Bowl. No poker, and in the north of the map is 0-1 down in the series, but he's looking to bounce back. He's picked Steel Talons yet again. It is Senna. Then in the south of the map as the red GDI, it is Bycrush owns obviously the runaway favourite in pretty much any series he plays now. There's really no player that you would say has an edge over him at the moment. Drive and Futurama have their moments where they do look like they can take out Bike Rush, but in the end he is usually just too strong. But Senna, he's one of those players where if he's on his day, man, he just can get on this spree of winning games, and I've seen him do it versus Bike Rush before, where if he gets a little bit of a run on, he can just win constantly versus any player in the game. It doesn't matter who he's playing. So he's more than capable of taking Bike Rush out in this series. It's a best of 9. I'm not sure if I specified that in game number 1. It is a best of 9, and we're going to see at least 5 games, hopefully more than 5. I really hope that we don't see a 5-0 here. That would just be really disappointing, because again, it's one of those things though, once Bike Rush starts to get, if you lose the first 2 or 3 games to Bike Rush, it sort of plays on your mind like, well, I'm not going to be able to win from here, and you can just sort of fold. But Senna's not really it doesn't really affect him. His mentality's really good. He always believes he can win. And again, these guys just going for that really heavy eco start, but Bike Rush after his 4th Harvester is going to start producing Pitbulls here. And again, he's going to do this Foxhole thing. It's so annoying. He does it to everyone, and it's the most frustrating thing. He's got double Rifleman in that power plant, and he's going to start shooting down the... he got double Rifleman in the Foxhole, and he's going to start shooting down the power plant. And quite a few Pitbulls being produced by Bike Rush, sending them out to the left-hand side. He's got 4 on the map now. This Watchtower is slowly going to pick away at the Foxhole, but it is going to take its sweet time. There is now 3 Foxholes in the base of Senna, and you can't even select that one because of it being inside the Tiberium. That's a bit of an interesting interaction there. Watchtower does come down to try and deal with the Foxhole, but the thing is now, Senna can't really defend this with infantry unless he blocks out the Foxhole with the barracks placement, but he's just going to defend it with Watchtowers, so no concerns there for Senna at the moment. And he's just going to defend this with Watchtowers. Yeah, he's going to be fine, and he's actually probably going to get economically ahead because of this. That Foxhole has been destroyed. The Riflemen are making a run for it. No, they're actually stopping to try and just do whatever little bit of damage. Both squads going to get away. No, okay, I thought both squads were going to get away with 1 member, but not quite. Second Refinery almost down for Senna, but Bike Rush actually beats him to it. And that's an interesting... Look at all the Watchtowers Senna has. I guess with all the Watchtowers Senna's been forced to build, it's not too surprising that Bike Rush has been able to get ahead. He's actually gone for another harvest. I think he has 10 harvesters, yeah. Senna has 4, 5, 9, so it's not really that big a difference. 5 to 10 really doesn't make a massive difference. Although it's actually really bad because Bike Rush has sent 6 to this field. This harvester is going back and forth, so really that extra harvester that Bike Rush has isn't really being that efficient. So in the end, it's almost a negligible eco advantage that Bike Rush has. Looks like we're going to see the Pitbull play again from both places. Look at these Watchtowers that are littered around the base. He really needs to sell them off just to give himself that extra eco boost. Orca Strike coming in on that refinery just to give him some scouting information, and he's going for Orcas here, Bike Rush. And he's going to try and catch Senna off guard with the Orcas again. The Orcas were really efficient for him last game, so he'll be hoping that he can have that same amount of success again. And it's just Pitbulls versus Pitbulls yet again. Rocket Squad's here from Bike Rush. He's probably going to garrison up some of these structures and just make it really painful for Senna that if he walks through the middle of the map, he's going to lose some units. Tier 3 is down already. The Orcas are flying out to the bottom left-hand side. Senna wouldn't know about them at all, I don't think. And Mortars is on the way for Senna. Orca Strike has got through with just 1 Orca left. It actually misses its target. And the Pitbulls are running through the middle of the map for Bike Rush, so we're going to see the Pitbull walls again, but the Orcas on the left-hand side, there is an AA battery down, so maybe Senna does know about it, or he just has a hunch, because he's only building 1, and he's moving to expand now. But there are Pitbulls moving out to the left-hand side. I think Senna knows that the Orcas are here, yeah. He pulls back, and now the Pitbulls are going to come in and clean up all of those Orcas. He does lose 2 harvesters for it, and Bike Rush on this other right-hand side has been trying to move in, but there's a Mammoth tank here, so Bike Rush will be forced to pull back. He needs to get that Harvester back to work here, Senna. But Senna, actually, I think he's in quite a comfortable position right now, because in the late game, especially in this patch, Steel Talons is better than GDI simply because they have adaptive armor, they have better Mammoth tanks, they have railgun accelerators, they have Behemoth, which is better than the Juggernaut. And you're probably thinking, well, GDI has infantry. Yeah, they do, but for some reason, Steel Talons get Zone Troopers in this patch. So they don't get any of the upgrades, they don't get scanner packs, they don't get power packs, so they don't get the extra bonuses that the GDI Zone Troopers do get. But realistically, they're not that important in a GDI fight. But Steel Talons get those weapons. So we're going to see a triple engineer single rail Marv from Bike Rush. So an interesting choice there. Mammoth tanks. Oh man, Senna just seems all over the place. He's got his units all over the map. But I think he should be able to hold this quite comfortably with the units that he has. The Mammoth tanks really do rip through a Marv in this patch. So if he's able to just get a good engagement with a good Shockwave, he should be in a really comfortable position here. He's going to lose 2 Harvesters though, which is unfortunate. And there's Pitbulls over here trying to get in and cause issues. There's only 3 Mammoth tanks here. He has Mammoth tanks all over the map, but they're just not where they need to be over here. And Bike Rush may actually be able to move in and start harvesting this field. And that could be a really big issue, because Bike Rush has established himself on that right-hand side. Orcas sort of suiciding themselves into those Mammoth tanks. There's a lot of Juggernauts here. He needs a Shockwave here, Senna. I think one good Shockwave and he wins the game, because he only needs to Shockwave the Juggernauts. He can kill the Marv. He doesn't need to Shockwave the Marv. I would Shockwave the Juggernauts and then move in with everything else. This has to be a Space Command. It is a Space Command, so a big Shockwave is needed here for Senna. Oh, it's a big Juggernaut hit though. Where's the Shockwave artillery? There it is. It's a shocking place to put it, but he is going to move forward. He hasn't hit a single unit with that Shockwave yet. Shockwave artillery, again, proving it is the most useless support power in the game sometimes, but Senna is going to start to make a move, and I think that horrible Shockwave may cost him here, but he does have a lot of units funneling in here with the help with those Mammoth tanks, but the Marv has survived because of that Shockwave whiffing completely. And oh man, Senna's just falling apart here. That Shockwave was so bad. Here comes the Orbital Strike, though. Maybe he can kill those units in the planes. Yeah, he actually takes out the one of the Pitbulls and one of the Wolverines while they were trying to land. Orca's now coming in for Bike Rush as well to support the fight. There's a Hammerhead here, but that's not going to do enough damage to the Marv when it has triple engineer. There's a Zone Trooper here for Senna, probably from the sold off Space Command, but Bike Rush has established double refinery over here, and I think Senna is in a really bad position. That Shockwave, man, that should not have been... Bike Rush had no right to win that engagement. That Shockwave was so bad. And unfortunately, that's probably cost Senna the game. He only has 1 refinery established on this field. Excuse me. Hammerheads from both sides. They can't fight each other, so they're just sort of sitting around. Rig comes out. Senna probably needs to focus down that... Oh, what's he doing? He's not killing the husks. He needs to kill the husks. There's a slingshot there now, and Bike Rush should probably be able to move out and take them. He's building a lot of Hammerheads. He's got Juggernauts here, but Senna has no AA, man. He has absolutely no AA, so these Orcas are going to move in. There's a Hammerhead on the right-hand side, seeing that Bike Rush does have that double refinery set up. And another refinery does come down for Senna, but I don't know. There's so many Hammerheads now for Bike Rush. He's going really air-heavy. And yeah, Senna sells out. And that's GG. And I feel sorry for Senna there, man. That Shockwave absolutely cost him the game. If he landed that good Shockwave, because you've got to remember is that even if Bike Rush had his own Shockwave, it wouldn't have done anything, because Senna has the adaptive armor ability. And if you use that ability, the Shockwave doesn't hit your Mammoth tanks at all for Steel Talons. So the Shockwave needed to land for Senna, and he would have been really good. I think he should have used it on the Juggernaut still. I think the placement of it was poor, but it still managed to miss the Marv completely. And I think that cost Senna in the end. But Bike Rush will take a 2-0 lead. We'll move to game number 3. Welcome to game number 3 of the series. We are on the map Tournament Highlands, and in the right-hand side of the map as the yellow Steel Talons. Yet again, it is Senna sticking with Steel Talons, and the left-hand side of the map is the red GDI Vanilla, again sticking with what he's been playing. It is Bike Rush owns. 1 engineer start. Is that a mistake? I feel like that might have been a mistake. You definitely want 2 engineers on this map, unless Buycrush is planning to do some type of all-in. That is definitely a mistake on Buycrush's part. You don't want to only go for 1 engineer. There's pretty much no reason, unless he's going for an all-in and he's going to use the engineer from the... yeah, it was a mistake. You can see now he's rebuilt another barrack. So Senna already with a massive lead. He's a good 5-6 seconds ahead. With Buycrush being forced to rebuild. He's actually gone for another engineer again. So there we go. Buycrush. He's already at a disadvantage, and if this engineer achieves nothing, he's just put himself at even more of a disadvantage again. So Senna already, I feel like, he's in a really good position, and it's only a minute into the game. Another ref will come down, and you can see he's a good 6 seconds ahead, maybe more, than Buycrush. So Senna will be. He doesn't know that though. He doesn't know he's this far ahead. But look at that, man. He is a long way ahead. So he's Buycrush doing this thing that he likes to do. Sends an engineer across the map. He'll send it into the bottom right corner and try and capture your buildings at his expansion or at your expansion. And he'll try and distract you with an attack on another front and then move in with the engineer. It's quite a common Buycrush thing to do, and a lot of players will lose to it because you play versus other players and no one else is brave enough to do something like this. Just send a wandering engineer across the map, because all it takes is for Senna to have a foxhole here, like at the blue tip, and you lose it. And the whole point of building that engineer is lost. A lot of players just won't do it as well because it's a long-term investment and they feel like you can fall behind. But in 1.03 it's not as bad, because with the refs being cheaper, you're actually able to achieve quite a bit more at the start of the game with your starting economy without stalling. Maybe that's why Buycrush feels confident to do this. I mean, Buycrush would do this anyway, whether it was 1.02 or 1.03, he would do this anyway. That ref is a long way away from the tip field. And Pitbulls are now being produced. Buycrush has established himself on the expansion. Pitbull's coming out across the map. So is Senna going to fall for this? Because this is a really big moment in the game. You've got to remember, his harvesters can't save him either. If he was GDI Vanilla, his harvesters could probably save him because they can shoot through the refinery sometimes. Because, you know, that's just how Kane's Wrath works. And here we go. Here comes that engineer. Is he going to see it? Senna needs to be paying attention. He can sell off this power plant and he will be able to stop that refinery from being captured. Here we go. Buycrush is going to get it. Oh, man. Disaster. He even placed another refinery down as it gets captured. And Buycrush, oh, man. It's just cruel. It's just cruel. He needs to shoot down this refinery. Screw the... Yeah, because Buycrush are going to start placing base defenses. Holy crap. He's actually going to start... Oh my god. This is so painful for Senna. He needs to try and kill that refinery. He's built an engineer. He's not going to be able to capture it. I don't think Buycrush is going to let him capture it back. Yeah, he sells it off. So... I don't know. Maybe that wasn't... I mean, obviously it was bad that he lost the refinery, but all the other stuff that Buycrush did really achieved nothing. And it was a little bit of an overinvestment, maybe. But he did get the refinery capture, and that's huge. That's a big moment in the game. That engineer is still alive. You have to place it in a really obscure spot, that refinery. And he's going to go and take that blue tip at the south side of the map. Buycrush, surprisingly, hasn't made a move to that north field while this has all been happening. 4 upgraded power plants. He's not going to have power issues for a long time. He's going to have to build about 6 ion cannons to deal with any power issues again for the rest of this game. Orca Strike does come out. Are we going to see Orcas again from Buycrush? Yeah, he's really loving his Orcas, isn't he? And that's the thing. The Orcas have been buffed like in every single way. Because, 1, the Harvesters are weaker, so it only takes 6 Orca rockets to kill a Harvester. And then they reload faster. The rockets shoot faster. I'm pretty sure they shoot faster. Like, everything about the Orca has been buffed, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Buycrush trying to move into the main field here. There are Pitbulls protecting. And Buycrush is going to get one of his tip spikes captured here. Where is Senna's Pitbulls? Oh, he's met them all back to base. I thought he might have been going for an attack. He could have actually used them to try and kill that tip spike. Tier 3 is out. The Orcas are out. And is Senna going to lose Harvesters to the Orcas again? Buycrush has done this in every game now. Is it going to be Hawks? It is, but Senna's going to go for Hawks, and that completely shuts the Orcas down. Does he have Stratifighter? I didn't check that. I should have checked if he had Stratifighter yet. Juggernaut's coming out from Buycrush. Orcas moving across the map. And Senna's going to have to hold this. without losing his Hawks in a silly way. The Pipples are going to move in. Behemoth are being produced. Where's the Hawks? The Hawks need to move now. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, they take out 3 Orcas. No, they don't. Yes, they do. He loses 3 Orcas. Doesn't even lose the Firehawk. Only lost 1 Harvester. And Bike Rush will know. Now, he probably needs to build his own Hawks. Yeah, I think he's going to go straight for his own Firehawks now. Yeah, there we go. Hawks are going to come out for Bike Rush. We actually see he's taken... No, Bike Rush has taken that spike. Interesting. Behemoth being produced. Mammoth Tanks being produced. Adaptive Armor is done. Railguns is on the way. And Firehawks versus Firehawks will be very important in deciding this game, actually. If you lose the air superiority and you can't get it back in a GDI mirror like this, it can be really hard to win. Simply because you're constantly getting your infrastructure bombed and it's just very painful to deal with. Shadow Tanks being produced. I'm not sure what they're for because he's only dealing with Steel Talon's armor. And they aren't too strong versus the armor from Steel Talons. Senna could easily recapture that tip spike. I'm surprised he hasn't done so. And that MCV is a long way forward here for Bike Rush owns. Quad Rail Marv yet again. Very risky because we know how powerful that Shockwave can be. I mean, Senna, he can't have as bad a luck with that as he had last game, you would think. The Pipples are going to try and make a move here. Shockwave Artillery coming in. Who's used that? Senna's used it, bang, right onto the Marv. The Juggernauts have been hit as well. The Juggernauts are falling completely. The Firehawks from Bike Rush fly in. They're losing their lives. And this Marv is under a hell of a lot of pressure. The Behemoth have been locked down by Bike Rush's Shockwave, but the Pipples are now moving through. He needs to... Oh, don't stand still when there's Juggernauts shooting at you, that's for sure. And here we go. Bike Rush is under a lot of pressure here. He's got his own troopers being built out of those barracks. And the MCV needs to fall here, I think. He needs to take that out. And these husks need to go down. Is Senna going to throw this away? He's in such a good position here, but he needs to control this well enough to not lose it. And the Marv now is going to continue to move forward. More zone troopers being produced on the front line from Bike Rush. There are still a lot of Behemoth here, a War Factor on the front line, more reinforcements coming for Senna. He sells off his Space Command. No APM over Bike Rush, funnily enough, but I guess you don't really need it too much versus the... versus Steel Talon's armor. Pipples are now on the front line fighting as well. They'll actually do quite a good job at cleaning up the zone troopers with the mortars. But of course there are the APMO watchtowers on the front line as well. This Marv is awfully close to going down here, and I think Senna is pushing through, but it's so hard to tell. These units are on such low health from both players. It comes down to who can get the better shots off. That Juggernaut doesn't get reclaimed. He does lose the husk before it can get reclaimed. That Marv is so close to going down. Can Senna get the final shots on that Marv? Oh, it's so close to going down. Senna will be kicking himself that he can't quite finish that off, but I think it doesn't matter. I think he's cleaned up everything else that's left. He needs to kill the husks. Oh, he kills the engineers. That's just as good, actually, and he's reclaiming his husks, and I think Bike Rush is going to lose his Marv, and that's probably it. GG, probably for Bike Rush here. He is still dropping Sonic emitters, but I don't think he's going to be able to clean up what's here. Hammerhead's being produced on the front line, and there we go. Bike Rush has been defeated, and Senna takes his first win of the series. And yeah, I mean, it was always going to be an uphill battle from Bike Rush right from the start. He built those two, he built only one engineer, and we'll probably see, yeah, he was behind the whole game. He actually did get ahead in the end, and that's probably from the Marv, Marvising that middle field. But even with the capture of that refinery, Senna was ahead the whole way until right at the end, but it didn't matter. The fight had been won by that point. So Senna will take a win, and could this be the start of an absolute turnaround here? I wouldn't be surprised, but Senna takes the game. It's 2-1 to Bike Rush. We'll move to game number 4. The game at number 4 of this series. We are now on the map Tiberium Rift, and in the top left-hand corner of the map is the red GDI. We have Bike Rush owns, currently leading the series 2-1, but his opponent in the bottom right, who has just taken his first win, it is Senna playing as the yellow Traveller 59. He just got his first win with Talons and then said, that's enough, I'm switching it up, I'm picking Traveller 59. And a very interesting choice, because I feel like Traveller's probably hard counted by GDI in the current patch. Obviously, these players don't play the patch often enough to know that, and obviously, Senna might have a strategy up his sleeve. A lot of things for Traveller have been buffed. The Cultists have been reworked. Shock Troopers are a lot better. They have Dev Tanks, because That makes sense. And don't question it. They can't get charged, so they're not like they're a full strength dev tanks. They can't be charged. So does that justify it? Not really. Disc mechas are completely broken versus air. So are Seeker tanks. So maybe if he knows that, he's decided to go this way because he doesn't want to deal with Biocrush's aircraft play. But of course, Firehawks can still be viable, except you need 5 Firehawks to kill a tier 3 or a full Orca strike and the 4 Hawks, because, you know, the Firehawk versus Scrin build was starting to get a little bit too abusive in the current meta. I mean, the meta in 1.02 is pretty damn stale, and that's why I'm quite happy to start moving on and casting these type of games, because it brings a breath of fresh air. You know, it's different. The same players are still going to be freaking good at the game. You know, it's still going to be Biocrush and Senna and Master Leaf and Futurama and Drive and Shock Trepid at the top. They're just going to have to adapt to different strategies and different builds, because a lot of the things like epics and the multi-MCV and things like that have been nerfed quite severely, and that's why you haven't seen Biocrush go for multi-MCV yet this series. I mean, you probably wouldn't go for it too often versus a Steel Talons anyway, as a GDI, but you know, it's just another one of those things that CGF and Charles have really tried to take out of the game, is that multi-MCV epic every single game type of play. And to be fair, we have only seen we haven't seen multi-MCV at all, and we haven't seen epics from a Steel Talons player, which you normally don't. But it's a lot more viable for Steel Talons to go for a Marv because they can put Zone Troopers in it. But let's focus on this game. We do see APC rockets moving out across the map here from Biocrush, and this is a play that has become quite powerful versus Scrin as of late because of how quickly the rocket projectiles fire. You're able to kite with the APC rockets against Seeker tanks quite a lot better. And Biocrush is probably going to catch Senna a little bit out of position here. There are a lot of Seeker tanks here, though, so I think even if Biocrush is able to make a move, he's going to find it really difficult to overwhelm this, and he's actually going to get flanked here from the side. And that's going to be one APC down. He's yet to lose it. Oh, he's lost a Gunwalker, but he's going to take out another APC. Loses his first Seeker tank now, and he's actually closed this down really well. Biocrush could actually jump into that garrison too. That would be really painful for Senna to deal with, because he hasn't got any buzzers around here to deal with that. Another Seeker does go down, another APC goes down, and the minefield... Oh, Senna walks straight into the mines! Oh no! And that's the thing, is even though Senna knows that they're there, if he's not paying enough attention... Biocrush is... I mean, Senna is expanding. He's got Storm Riders, and he's expanding with a crane already. So Biocrush may feel a little bit of pressure here, because Senna is going ultra eco mode. And with the Traveller 59, he's going to try and really put the pressure on Biocrush with economy, building some Storm Riders. Now, Storm Riders are a unit which has been, in my opinion, buffed to the point where if you know how to use them, they can possibly be the best unit in Scrin's arsenal. But at this stage, they are not. It's when they get the Storm Column buff that they become a lot better. I'm not sure what the exact statistics are, but I know they do more damage, like a lot more damage, and they heal in the Storm, and they tank a hell of a lot more damage, and things like that. So, obviously, at this stage, they're still pretty mediocre units, but once you get that Storm buff on them, they're really nuts. So I'm happy to see Senna using them, because I think that... Oh my god, what is that? That's not even worth building. That is not even worth building. Why would he bother? Anyway, tier 3 is down. Tripods are starting to be produced. You will see that tripods actually do get Traveller engines now. So instead of shields for the tripods for Traveller, they... What is that? Senna, what are you doing, man? Oh my god. What are you doing? He's gonna phase that Harvester, and he's gonna lose all of the Orcas. I don't think Biocrush will mind that too much. He gets the phase out of the way, so if there is a big fight soon, he will be ready for that. Oh my god, that's a lot of rocket squads. What's he going for? He's actually going back for Orcas. That's an interesting choice when he knows there's Storm Riders out, and Scrin's AA abilities are just really powerful. There's a tripod here. Oh no, Senna, no. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, he got lucky there. He only lost one. Those two are on very low health, though. Oh, that Orca Strike's going to kill that Harvester as well. Shock Troopers are being produced. Random Rocket Trooper over here. This game is a little bit all over the place. But rocket men are being produced. Orcas coming out. More infantry. Has he got an armory? No, but he has got a tier 3 with railguns almost done. I only could imagine it's railguns. I don't know what else he'd go for. And there it is. There is railguns on those Predator tanks. Senna has built like 3 refineries on this field, and 2 of them have been almost closer to his second field than his first field. Or than his third field. But Biorush has now made it to his third. Storm Riders just get sent to their death. That's really poor by Senna. He shouldn't just throw them away like that. Shock Troopers being produced. Now, something with the Shock Troopers is, of course, they've been buffed in a lot of areas, but a sort of a hidden buff with the Shock Trooper is that the Plasma Disc Launchers only buffs them by letting them shoot up. They actually don't get any extra damage. Their DPS is flat from the start. They get full damage. And then the disc launchers just makes them be able to shoot aircraft. And I mean, this army composition won't be easy for Biorush to deal with. Senna is actually probably in a really nice position here to push forward into the third field that Biorush has. If you can get a few sniper teams out, though, the Shock Troopers are going to struggle because there's nothing to deal with sniper teams here for Senna. He has dropped 4 refineries on this field. This is ridiculous. Now, are the Orcas going to make a move? Maybe they already have. But because Senna's moving that drone ship forward, and I think he wants to do that to protect his field with AA batteries. I think he's missed a really good opportunity here to move into this base that Biorush has, because there's barely anything here to protect him. He's building sniper teams now. He's going to actually make a move to Biorush's main field, and this base is pretty much undefended, and it's got no anti-infantry here. He drops a Sonic emitter. He drops another War Factory here. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, because he's probably going to lose this base altogether. The the Orcas are probably going to try and hit the tripods from the back, or are they going to go to the field? They may go to the field, but there's actually an AA battery right in the middle, and there's an AA battery there, so he's not going to be able to achieve too much with that. And this base is going to fall, I think. Shock Troopers are moving through with the help, and there's 4 tripods here as well. But in the meantime, Biorush is doing a counterattack in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. And a lot of Senna's infrastructure is here. But again, Biorush is sort of losing all his infrastructure as well. But a GDI on Tier 1 is a hell of a lot stronger than a Traveler on Tier 1. So Biorush probably won't mind this trade. Overall, it's probably a good trade for Biorush to take. He also just has, like, he's got railguns, he's got AP ammo, he's got all the upgrades he needs to fight Senna. He's got sniper teams being absolutely spammed, so these Shock Troopers are really going to struggle to make an impact. Now, Minefield comes down, the Crane's going to go down, the Tier 2 is going to go down. There's a lot of infantry here. Senna's going to really struggle to deal with that, I feel like. He needs some Ravagers, maybe. Ravagers are really powerful versus infantry that's clumped up, and all of that is clumped up. I guess the Shock Troopers aren't a bad choice either, but obviously there's 3 APCs here, and there's a rifle, which is going to be really difficult for Senna to dislodge with just Shock Troopers. He needs a few Ravagers in that fight. Orcas moving around on this left-hand side, trying to find a way to hit those tripods from the back, you would imagine. These Shock Troopers have been all but cleaned up, really. And these rocket squads are going to try to retreat. There's a heroic APC. That's a really big issue. Senna needs to kill that. He doesn't. And he's now back. He's dropped his Tier 2 back in a really dangerous position here. And he's going to be forced away by this Pred APC, or Pred rocket army. The Orcas are going to come in as well, trying to clean up these tripods. The tripods need to keep moving. He didn't get Traveler engines either. Maybe Senna doesn't know. But once you get Traveler engines, I think it's a 15% speed boost or something like that. Shock Troopers and Disintegrators are being spammed out by Senna. Are we going to see Hammerheads from Biorush? Hammerheads from Biorush would be absolutely devastating for what Senna is going for here. These mines have been cleaned up, but Senna really probably needs to try and expand back down here. He needs to get some anti-infantry out, man. He's just spamming Shock Troopers and Disintegrators, but he needs to get something to deal with the rocket squads. These rocket squads have been pretty much unopposed this whole time. There's a heroic APC out, man. That's so painful for him to have to deal with. He's going to try and take that blue tip, but I can already guarantee that they're going to get destroyed by the Orcas. Although the tripods may be what gets destroyed by the Orcas. The Shock Troopers need to teleport in to protect these Orcas. Protect the tripods from the Orcas. He needs to teleport the Shock Troopers in. Oh, man. He's going to lose, like... Oh, no. He only lost 1. Buzzer Swarm comes in and kills all of that infantry. Oh, that's so bad. Sniper teams, of course, for some reason, take like 6 shots to kill a Buzzer. Because, that makes sense. Yeah. This is still quite a big army for Senna. Has he got his Tier 3 back down? Oh my god, what is that positioning? Could he have put it in a worse position? Honestly. Unless he actually put it here, I don't think that Tech Lab could be in a worse position. Oh man, and he's just gonna... He shouldn't be taking the engagement like this. That heroic APC is gonna tank so much damage. He hasn't even killed an APC yet. He is going to flank from the backside. He hasn't used the teleport on his shock troopers all game, which is a really odd choice by Senna. You'd think he'd be really trying to abuse that. And he hasn't done that at all. He's got nothing to kill the infantry. That's the thing. These rocket squads are going to be what kills Senna, because he has nothing to kill them. He can deal with the Preds, he can deal with the APCs, but this infantry, he has nothing to kill the infantry. He has no dev warships, he has no Ravagers, he has no Gunwalkers, no Corruptors, he has nothing. And Buzzer Swarm's already been used, and then you don't want to be relying on Buzzer Swarm either. That's not something you want to be relying on. And Senna's sort of been boxed into this corner, and I think he's in quite a bit of trouble, you know. I thought he was in a good position, but now I feel like he's sort of getting himself in a really awkward position now, because he's refusing to build anti-infantry. These units from Bike Rush have been caught out of position. That's a really bad move by Bike Rush, losing those units unnecessarily. Senna is starting to run out of harvesters. He's down to 6. Bike Rush has freaking 600 in comparison. This tier 2 is going to go down because this base is going to fall, and he's still not respecting this infantry, man. He's starting to build Devastator warships, not going for Traveller engines just yet, and he's got to repair some of these tripods. Some of these tripods are really low. You know, this one needs repairs, that one needs repairs, that one needs repairs. He needs to be repairing these units, because Bike Rushes are just going to focus them down straight away, and that's half your tripod army lost before the fight even really begins. And Devastator warships are going to be produced now, so a good choice, but I'd still like to see some Ravagers out, because Ravagers have been buffed to be a really potent anti-infantry unit in this patch. And he needs to use that to his advantage, but you've got to remember, Bike Rush is slowly running out of Tiberium. He's actually built 2 refineries down here on this field. I'd like to see Senna make a move for the top left field, or maybe send a Surveyor out there or anything like that, just to try and secure some more Tiberium. Bike Rush is actually moving in and taking the blue Tiberium in the middle of the map. And these tripods, man, Senna, repair your fucking tripods, I swear to God. This is ridiculous. He needs to repair them. Like, look at this, man. This is so bad by Senna. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing him, but this is really bad. These 3 tripods need to be healed, and he's not healing them. He does move in and kill 2 harvesters with those shock troopers. I mean, I think he's in an okay position. This game is pretty evenly poised, but this could come back to haunt him. You know, these tripods are going to come back to haunt him, not being healed up. It looks like he is going to try and make a move to that right-hand side. The Orcas are just going to be able to move in and pick them off, though. Those damaged Orcas, they're just going to get picked off. Another Harvester, though, does go down. Those damaged tripods, here we go. Bike Rush is probably just going to focus them down. He needs to, oh my god, he's just walked into the AA batteries. Really bad by Bike Rush there. There we go. 1 tripod goes down. He's going to circus down another one of the damaged ones. There we go. 2 tripods down straight away for absolutely no reason by Senna. So disappointing. Wow, what happened? Oh, the sniper teams are starting to make a move on those shock troopers, and Senna's actually a little bit out of position here with his army. He's going to fall back. He doesn't really need to take an army with him to the left-hand side. Bike Rush doesn't have anything over there to contest him. He needs his army over here where Bike Rush's army is. He should be able to take this field basically uncontested. There are hammerheads being produced now as well. If you put some sniper teams in the hammerheads, that'll be really difficult for the shock troopers to deal with. And the shock troopers are pretty much going to be dealt with now with the help with the sniper teams. Temporal Wormhole comes down, but I think he's used it a little bit too early. Where's Traveller engines, man? Oh my god, Senna is hurting my brain this game. But that's going to be some nasty Devastator warship hits on those infantry, man. This could be the moment that Bike Rush was dreading, where, oh my god, those Devastator warship hits were absolutely nasty, and Senna could be making his move here. This could be it. If he makes a push on this right-hand side field, his tier 3 has been placed down there. This is really bad for Bike Rush if Senna can get in there. The Orcas are coming back and picking off units on this left-hand side of this mountain range, but Senna is going to make a move. There's no way Bike Rush can really hold this. He's going to have to produce a lot of infantry, but his MCV is on the run. He does not want to fight there, and the tripods are going to continue to move in with the help of the Gunwalkers to protect them from the infantry and the Orcas. Devastator warships as well will be absolutely vital in cleaning up what's here, and Bike Rush is going to be forced out of this position, and he doesn't freaking do anything with that tier 3. He is getting some zone troops, so he's gone for zone heads. That was his plan with the tier 3. Oh man, this could be really bad, but there's Gunwalkers supporting the army. If Senna can micro the Gunwalkers well enough, he could be okay, but he needs to be using these Gunwalkers better than just walking them into the army of the Zone Heads. The Orcas are now starting to fire shots on those tripods, and here comes the Zone Heads. He's going to try and focus down the Gunwalkers as quickly as he can, and Buycrush is going to make a move with his ground army as well. Is Buycrush going to turn the tides here? These Zone Heads are completely unopposed. The Devastator warships are continuing to move forward. These tripods here have cleaned up the entire ground army, and the phase comes in. The phase comes in. One of the Zone Heads did go down, and most of Buycrush's army has been destroyed. The Devastator warships are going to stay and clean up this war factory for the cause. You know what's incredible about Senna this game? No Prodigy has been seen. And no Traveller engines either. Senna is down to 5 Harvesters, 2 of which are over here. He is struggling. He doesn't want to let these Husks be taken either. That could get Buycrush in the game, and this is the thing. Buycrush is just holding on, isn't he? He doesn't have much economy to his name. He has been leeching this field the whole time. But Senna is he's actually the one now with not much money under his belt. He's building Mechapedes to get the Disc Mechas, I'd imagine. But now there's 3 tripods under the control of Buycrush, and that's really huge because he's got half of Senna's army under his control, basically. Like half of what Senna has, Buycrush has here. And you've got the help of Rail Preds. I think Senna may actually have kind of thrown the game there. If he was... Oh my god, he's not repairing his tripods again. Oh my god, he's not repairing his tripods again. This is going to actually cost Senna the game. Refusing to repair his tripods is going to cost him the game. There is no doubt about it. See, he's making a move to the left-hand side. There's Pipples, APCs, and Harvesters making a move over there. The Disc Mechas are out in the field. So the Zone Heads are going to find it really difficult to achieve too much because they do so much damage. It's actually ridiculous how much damage Disc Mechas do to aircraft. And Senna's actually going to lose half of this field before he can even get to it because Buycrush has been able to long leech it. This spike has been taken by Senna. MCV has moved to this right-hand side again, so he's going to try and re-establish himself on this field. Is there an AA battery queued? There's an AA battery being placed on that left-hand side, but this tier 2 is vulnerable, and the Zone Heads may be able to come in and just kill it. Oh my god, Senna, man. Senna, what are you doing? Senna has completely outplayed Buycrush in this game, but he is completely throwing it away. Buycrush has been completely outplayed in every aspect of this game. And I think he's still going to win it. It's not because Buycrush has played necessarily incredibly well with the limited units he's had. Senna has just played terribly here. And I know I said I didn't want to sound like I was bashing him, but at this point I am, because it's been absolutely ridiculous the fact that Buycrush is even still in this game. The refusal to repair the tripods, not getting... I'll forgive him for not getting Temporal Worm for Traveller engines, because he probably doesn't know that it affects the tripods. But even so, he built Dev warships, so maybe you would get it for them. He has expanded this top left field, so that's good. But Senna, man, he's just made a lot of mistakes here. Buycrush has played really as well as he could have, with still being in a bad position. He's used the units that he should use. No Marv yet in this game, but he really hasn't had the chance to build a Marv because he's lost his tech quite consistently. He doesn't even have another tier 3 down. I don't know if he's going for one now. He might be. But Senna, I mean... No Prodigy either. I mean, I know that he's probably aware that there's a lot of snipers on the field, but... I don't know, I feel like it's still worth just having a Prodigy around, because if you find a little opening, it's going to do a lot of damage. Senna's army is still quite large. He's actually able to clean up that engineer that was trying to take that spike as well. And here we go. Buycrush is going to make a move on the main base of Senna here. And Senna's going to try and turn around and defend. Oh my god. He's trying to build shock troopers. Not a bad choice at this point, actually, because he knows the sniper team numbers have been whittled down. There is a... Space Command on the map. And Senna is going to be forced out of this position, you would have to say. I mean, he is bringing his army back to defend it. But I don't know. I don't know if he can hold. There's just a little bit too much here, I feel like. Especially considering he doesn't have a hell of a lot of anti-infantry. Does he have a Dev warship somewhere? No, he was building Storm Riders. He built a Storm Rider, which he's just throwing away. And Senna is going to continue the push. Gunwalkers are being produced, but one big shockwave for Bike Rush here, and Bike Rush probably wins the game. Look at all these tribots making the move. Is he going to be able to push through? Maybe Senna is still going to be able to do it, but the shockwave artillery comes down. This is the moment. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's not even fair. After the shockwave Senna got on game number 2, where it missed the Marv completely, and then Bike Rush uses a shockwave and hits everything, and that's going to be the end of the game. Senna's going to lose everything he has, and that's GG. Senna loses, and I'm sorry, but Senna should not have lost this game. He had no excuse to lose this game. He has played awfully in this game. And he's going to lose because of it. He's still trying to fight. I think he went to sell out and then sort of thought, well, maybe I'm not out of it just yet. But he's out of it because Bike Rush is going to get all of these husks. And oh man, that really disappoints me, because if Senna is a capable player, but the mistakes he made in this game were just unbelievably bad. And he deserves to lose. He deserves to win, and he deserves to lose. Now, he outplayed Bike Rush. For the first 10 minutes of this game, he completely outplayed Bike Rush, and then he threw it all away. And obviously that shockwave at the end didn't help at all, but there it is. Bike Rush takes the game, and I'm sorry if you don't like the way that I'm bashing Senna, but you've got to admit that that was a really poor performance. After playing so well in the first 10 minutes, the way he microed the shock troopers around, he cleaned up the main 2 bases of Bike Rush and then went into the Devastators, and he used the shock troopers so well, and then just so many mistakes were made after that point. But we'll move on to game number 5. We'll stop harping on about this one. Bike Rush leads 3-1. We'll go to game number 5. Welcome everybody to game number 5 of the series. We have moved to the map Tournament LA, and in the north of the map is the red GDI. Once again, it is Bike Rush owns, and his opponent to the south has the yellow Screen Vanilla. It is Senna. So not Traveler this time. He's gone to Screen Vanilla. And hopefully he can put in a better performance with the Screen faction than he did last game. I mean, I know I was very critical of him last game, but I just feel like he wasted his opportunity. He should have won that game. And, you know, he outplayed Bike Rush for 90% of it. And then just decided to forget how to play the game for the last little bit of it. And, you know, not repairing the tripods and things like that. But anyway, I'm not going to go on about that game anymore. We are on Tournament LA. He has got Screen Vanilla this time. He's gone for Disintegrators. It doesn't have the enhanced beam. So another change in the patch is that the Disintegrators have an upgrade that costs $500. I think it takes 15 seconds to upgrade. And it is enhanced beams. And it basically, the base Disintegrator is weaker. But once you get the upgrade, it's like 10% stronger than a 1.03 or a 1.02 Disintegrator. It's basically so Disintegrators were more effective in the mid game, but less potent in that early game opening where you could just go for the spikes and pretty much always cost effectively force out a counter, whether it was a Raider buggy or an APC from your opponent. Now Bike Rush may have an inkling this is coming. He does have Riflemen sitting at his base, so maybe he knows this is coming. It feels like, yeah, he definitely knows something is up. He also has guns on his harvesters, so they're going to be really powerful against the Disintegrators anyway, and the Disintegrators are going to start to make a move. Yeah, and an APC comes out. So yeah, Bike Rush has definitely sniffed this out. Watchtower comes down. Bike Rush definitely knew this was coming. I don't think he saw it either. He's going to go for that Harvester Center, but he's not going to get it, I don't think. No, he doesn't get it. And 2 APCs, a Watchtower, the guns from the Harvesters as well. It's just all too much for those Disintegrators, especially without their upgrade. If they had the upgrade, they would have got it. Would that extra $500 been worth getting the Harvester? Probably. It probably would have been, but I don't think the Disintegrators were worth it at all. And that's sort of what the point of the upgrade is to try and nullify that early Disintegrator opening. It's also completely annihilated it out of out of Traveler's arsenal, because, you know, they can't. The fast leg upgrade has been nerfed as well. It's 1545 seconds. So fast leg opening is pretty much dead. which is a bit of a bad side effect from what CGF's been trying to achieve with the enhanced beams upgrade. But we do see a photon cannon come down here, and these APCs are being pushed away by just a Gunwalker Seeker combo with the help of that photon cannon. The photon cannon is just so good versus APCs, man. It just does a lot of damage, and it does it really quickly versus a low HP unit such as APCs. And he's going to keep that photon cannon around, goes for another refinery. So Senna gets that second refinery out nice and quickly. Buycrush not quite there yet. He did go for, of course, the APCs and the rockets, so he's a little bit behind. But Senna has dealt with this quite easily. But Buycrush has taken the blue Tiberium behind it. So Senna, while he defended it quite easily, he has not been able to take that blue Tiberium. Buycrush will be reaping the rewards of blue Tiberium. He's got 10 harvesters out again, so we're seeing a lot of this 10 harvester play from Buycrush. And you can sort of do it a lot easier in this patch than you can in 1.02 because the harvesters are cheaper and they're quicker to produce. Refineries are cheaper, so you are able to just sort of build those harvesters out quicker. Anyway, here are the APCs fighting with the Seeker Tanks. The Seeker Tanks are actually doing quite a good job against these APC rockets. Senna's actually wasting a few shots on the Watchtower, which is a bit of a mistake there, but he is going to fall back. The Predator Tanks, even though he probably could overwhelm them, he knows that the reinforcements will come in, and it's just not worth taking the fight. This Gunwalker is going to go down as well, unfortunately, and the Seeker Tanks look like they are going to be cornered, but they have found a Harvester here. But that Harvester will retreat back to the safety of the Predator Tanks. And that will be the end of that little skirmish in the middle. Gunwalker's being produced. Tier 3 is already down for Senna. Senna looks like he's a long way ahead in this game. Orcas again from Buycrush. He has gone Orcas in every game. But it just shows how good they have become. Attenuated Force Fields is complete for Senna, and he goes down for a Crane. So we're going to see this fast third expand again from Senna. Just like we saw in the last game. He went for that fast third expansion, but he needs to make sure he actually places his refineries in decent places this game. We can see he's already placed AA batteries down in the bases here. He knows that there's going to be stuff coming his way already. And there it is. There's the Orcas. They're going to come in, but they're going to get that Harvester for free. I mean, it was probably going to go down anyway to the Predator Tanks. That drone ship is on the move. Disintegrators are chasing. I don't think he knows about the Attenuated Force Field upgrade. I feel like he doesn't know about it. Because he's not doing anything. Not the Attenuated Force Field, the Enhanced Beams. Wow, how do I confuse those two? Senna is now repairing up that tech lab. Does Buycrush? No, he's not. I thought he might have been going for Firehawks, and I thought, does he know that you actually need a little bit more than just the Firehawks to take that out? But it doesn't matter. He's going for Orcas anyway. Predator Tank APC army starting to build up into its blob sort of phase. MCV on the move for Buycrush. Senna has made it to his third. Hasn't got that refinery ready just yet, but it will be dropping down soon. And here we go. 3 tripods on the field, and he's got shields already. So Senna's actually looking in quite a good spot here. The Orcas are going to try and come in and do some damage, but they're flying straight into the Seeker Tanks, and the Gunwalkers are a big mistake there from Buycrush, but luckily only loses 2 Orcas. That was pretty lucky to only lose 2 in that engagement, but loses them for absolutely no damage. It's a bit of a catastrophe there. Could have been a lot worse, but still he won't be happy with that. And Senna's little tripod force here is actually looking quite dangerous. Buycrush has had to power down his... Oh wait, no, he's doing this deliberately. He wants to bait Senna into an engagement and then bring railguns online as soon as Senna thinks he can win the fight. So he's going to try and bait Senna into an engagement here. Shard launches is actually done for Senna as well. He's got more tripods reinforcing, but yeah, Buycrush is going to try and bait Senna into the fight here. Does he have stasis? I'm not sure he has stasis. Here we go. He's going to unpower it now, and then railguns is going to come online, and Senna's going to realize that's a lot more DPS than he expected to be coming after him and this army. The Orcas are going to have a pick at that tripod as well, and here we go. The railgun Preds are going to be in pursuit. Is he going to be able to pick off that tripod? One tripod does go down. The Orcas are still picking off the units in the retreat, and Senna will be forced back to his third, but I think he's got enough. When he gets a good stasis down, he's probably going to drop down some portals for disintegrators. And I think he'll be okay. Does he have enhanced beams yet? Because disintegrators are a hell of a lot better. Oh, no. This is a terrible rally by Senna. He gets sort of stuck in between the buildings. Oh, and that tripod goes the wrong way again. That's terrible. He phases it. Also phases that one. But now Bike Rush needs to identify there's not much to actually stop him from moving in here now. Oh, Bike Rush might have missed an opportunity here. He could have moved into this space. There's only one tripod left to shoot at him. Although he might not realize that. He probably doesn't know that there's nothing else in this base. In the meantime, he has established double refinery on that third field, and now here we go. So he is going to start to make a move here. There's more tripods reinforcing for center from the south. The Orcas are starting to be picked off. Random AA batteries taking them down. Shard launchers on the photon cannons are going to be really powerful against this low-tier army from Bike Rush, but they're going to start to make a move into the Tiberium field. Stasis shield still hasn't been used yet by Senna. Shockwave artillery comes in. Are we going to see the stasis in return? There we go. There's the stasis from Senna. He only locks down one tripod. The Orcas are going to fly in as well. No AA battery here to deal with those Orcas, but the Orcas had to use their shots to deal with the husks rather than to actually kill more of those tripods. And Senna's army is going to encircle the Predator tanks here from Bike Rush and going to destroy them, you would imagine. Here we go, there goes those Predator tanks, and that's quite a lot of units being destroyed here. Zone Trooper drop pod being dropped off. There is a Gunwalker here, but there isn't a hell of a lot of anti-infantry left here for Senna. There's still Zone Troopers flying around. Buzzer Swarm does come in, but the Jump Jet does come out from Bike Rush, so he's going to get away from those Buzzer Swarms, but Senna needs to realize he can't chase that. He doesn't want to chase into a group of Zone Troopers like that, because the Zone Troopers do a lot of damage very quickly. He doesn't have the anti-infantry to deal with that, and Senna has been stabilized. I think he's stabilized here. I think he's in quite a good position, but I've said this last game and then he just threw it all away. So can Senna convert this winning position into a win? That is the question now, because you look at Bike Rush's army and he doesn't have a standing army, really. Once these Zone Troopers go down, and if he doesn't lose too many units to the Orcas, he's in a really dominant position, and this is really bad for Bike Rush because Storm Riders are coming out on the field and he's trying to go for zone heads, and you do not want Storm Riders on the field when you're going for zone heads, because they are just such a scary threat to those zone troopers, to the zone heads, because obviously they can't fire back and they do quite a bit of DPS very quickly. Senna's actually been able to pick up 2 loads of Tiberium on this south side he's actually got another harvester there, so he's picked up 3 loads of Tiberium from from Bike Rush's field. He's going to lose the harvesters now, but still, it's actually, I mean, you harvest more than than the harvester costs, and it means Bike Rush isn't getting that Tiberium, so it's not the best way to take money off of your opponent, but it does get the job done. Neither player has taken these EMP control spikes yet, and Shock Troopers now being produced. Has he got both of the upgrades? Yes, he's got disc launchers and blink packs, so he's going to be able to teleport those Shock Troopers around. We didn't really see him use that last game, so I'm not going to be expecting him to use it this time around, but Senna's army is looking really big. That drone ship's actually in a little bit of a vulnerable position here. No Firehawks being produced by Bike Rush. I thought we'd see Firehawks to try and deal with the threat of the Storm Riders. Maybe some slingshots he'll go for instead. He's just going for more hammerheads, so it looks like, and he's actually bringing his MCV with him. He's got triple barracks. He's just pumped out I guess he's just pumped out a bunch of rifles. I'm not sure. He's got some rockets, some random Zone Troopers. Hasn't got power packs, so no armory down. I don't know what these 3 barracks are for. I don't know if that was just a panic or... Oh, he spammed out Zone Troopers. I see. He's going for mass zone head. Oh, that's so risky. Look at all the zone heads that are here. But Senna has Storm Riders. That's very risky to go for mass zone head. He doesn't really have any answer to the Storm Riders either. Like, absolutely none. But he's going to fly around. Senna's sort of being pulled around in all directions here because he's going to lose all of his tech down here, which isn't good. But I feel like Senna has the army that could just roll Bike Rush out of the game. I don't know, these zone heads don't feel that threatening because he has Storm Riders. Although he is going to not be producing any more of them. He doesn't have another gravity stabilizer to produce more Storm Riders. If I was Senna, I'd be going for a lot of Storm Riders to try and compete with this. But look at this army from Senna. I mean, how does Bike Rush contend with this? He can't even go into this base and deal damage because there's AA batteries all over the place. There are a few forces that have stuck through to the back of Senna's base. He's going to try and take out Senna's tier 3, but Senna may just be moving in for the kill now. More Storm Riders on the south side. They're going to get cleaned up by the Storm Riders. And Senna is going to probably he's got to make a move to Bike Rush's base in the middle here. He wants to take this out. He doesn't want Bike Rush to have a forward base of operations. because that can be quite deadly for him to have to deal with. The Shock Troopers should turn and fight this. The Shock Troopers do a lot of damage to Hammerheads when they've got their disc launchers. Oh, buzzers being produced out of the portal, kill the Zone Troopers. A nice play there from Senna. I don't know why he placed that down. That was a bit of a waste of money. Still no enhanced beam, so he obviously doesn't know about that upgrade, and that's a really big deal because that's like a 20. I think it's 25% more damage if you get that upgrade. 5 Juggernauts out on the field, 4 Bike Rush as well now. And no, he's de-garrisoned all the Zone Troopers. He realizes that with the Storm Riders on the field and the amount of Shock Troopers as well, it's really not worth going for Zone Heads. But they are going to fly around. They're going to look for an entrance into Senna's base. They could actually pick off these 2 power plants. They're badly damaged and they're both upgraded. That would be quite a big loss for Senna. But here we go. The Firehawks are on the field now for Bike Rush. He's just built the 1. And 1 Storm Rider does still live. But Senna's going to make a move onto this northern field with the forces of the Tripods, the Gunwalkers, Disintegrators, and Shock Troopers. This is the dream Skrin army late game. He just needs to mix in a few packs or dev ships, you'd feel, and it's the absolute dream of an army. But these Shock Troopers do need to be careful. There are a lot of Hammerheads on the field, and these Juggernauts can do all sorts of damage to the army of Senna. Does he have his Stasis Shield ready? His Stasis is ready, so this might be it. Senna might be making the move here. Here we go. He goes for the Stasis. He hits a bunch of Zone Troopers and Infantry as well as a couple of Juggernauts. And this is going to be it. This is going to be the fight that decides the game. Here we go. Senna's going to make the move. He needs to make sure his Tripods keep moving. The Hammerheads are trying to deal with the Shock Troopers that are here. But I think Senna has a little bit too much. Bike Rush is going to fall out of this position, I feel like. But the Tripods need to keep moving. The Juggernauts are coming out of the Stasis with the Rocket Troopers as well. But the Tripods are getting in range of the Juggernauts. And I think that's going to be it. I think Senna has done it. He's overpowered this position. And with no air left on the map for Bike Rush, I think this is GG. Well done to Senna. I don't think Bike Rush can hold them. There we go. So Senna claims another game in the series, and it moves to 3-2. And Senna, he just played better that game. I'm surprised. He maybe should play Skrin more often because he's actually outplayed Bike Rush both times he's played Skrin. And he should have won the last game, and he won this game, so I'll be interested to see if he's going to stick with Skrin for the rest of the series because he has won those 2 games with Skrin. He should have won the first game. He's definitely won this game. So does he stick with Skrin, or is he going to go back to Talons maybe, or will he go for something completely different? Who knows? But Senna takes another win, and it goes to 3-2 in this series. We have now moved to the map Tiki Turmoil for game number 6 of this series between Bike Rush Owns and Senna in the south side of the map again with GDI Vanilla. This guy is so boring. This guy is so damn boring. He's picked GDI, it's Bike Rush Owns in the north of the map as the yellow Nod Vanilla, the first appearance for Nod in this series. It is Senna, so he is 3-2 down, but he will be feeling pretty confident after what was two pretty dominant performances. I still can't believe he didn't win that game on Tiberium Rift. It beggars belief, the fact that he threw that game away. It was such a dominant first 10 or 15 minutes from Senna. But he won the last game, he's made up for it, and now he needs to convert that momentum that he does have into some more wins. He's been dealt with Nod Vanilla here. I have a hunch he's picked random all series, and he just got super unlucky with Talons 3 times, or lucky, depending on how you want to look at it. I feel like he's picked random all series though, but I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure Bike Rush would have streamed this live, but I didn't see the series live, so maybe one of you guys who saw it live will be able to tell me in the comments whether Senna was picking random. But it doesn't say random when you look at the menu tab. So Raider Buggy does come out looking to pick off the Rifle Scouts, but Bike Rush has just dug in just outside of Senna's base, and this is effectively as good as you can get without losing the Scouts, without getting them in your base, because even if Senna sends something through, Bike Rush will pretty much be able to see all of it. There's this little gap here, and a little gap up here, but otherwise, Bike Rush will pretty much see anything that comes out of Senna's base as soon as it leaves. So it's a really good couple of Foxhole placements there for Bike Rush. And it means that if Senna was going for some type of Bike Rush, you wouldn't see it out of the War Factory, but he would see it early enough that he would have enough time to react to it rather than just getting jumped by it. So this Buggy's going to pick away at the power plant. Pitbull does come out, and Senna instantly reacts and says, no, I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to risk losing my Buggy. So good micro there by Senna. We are going to see bikes come out. So the first appearance for Nod in this series Now, the general consensus is that this matchup in 1.03 is pretty damn even, GDI versus Nod Vanilla. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys play it. Now, obviously this consensus does come from the limited amount of games we have seen, especially with this matchup. A lot of the matchups we've seen is with no Nod in it at all, because a lot of people feel that Nod is underpowered. I don't know where they get that idea from, because the times I have played Nod, even versus other good players, it seems very potent in pretty much any matchup. So laser turret does come down from Senna, so he's just going to try and hold this off with that laser turret, the early harass, and going for more refineries. I imagine we've pretty much seen 4 refinery builds from both players in every game. I don't think we've really seen much difference than that. It's just all about economy at the start of this game, and that's sort of what 1.03 is. It's very hard to pull off really strong early aggression, and even if you pull it off, you sort of with the what's it called, with the price of the refineries and the harvesters, it's really easy to just sort of spam harvesters and sort of recover from an early attack, and you can sort of, it sort of divulges back into this sort of game anyway. By Senna sending infantry down here, he's actually taking damage straight out of the barracks, though, because it's running over this Tiberium, which is a little unfortunate for Senna. And there's Orcas out again, so here we go. Orcas from Bike Rush yet again. For the 6th game in a row, we're going to see Orcas. Raider Buggies being produced by Senna. It looks like we're going to see Infantry and Bike Buggy as the units of choice from Senna in this game. And it looks like he's just going to try and fast tech behind it as well. I imagine this will be a tier 3. Yeah, tier 3 comes down. Bike Rush again with the Orcas out on the field and a fast tier 3. So 1 War Factory, 1 Airfield, tier 3 for Bike Rush. Senna, 1 War Factory, 1 Barracks. So a little bit of a difference in the game styles there. We've got a SAM turret and a laser turret here defending this Tiberium field, but I think Bike Rush is just going to sort of run through the laser turret and go into the tip field. Yeah, where is the Bike Buggy from Senna? It's a little bit out of position, and Bike Rush is going to make a pretty big move here. 2 SAM turrets are now here. The Bike Buggy is starting to reinforce, but there's 3 harvesters that have gone down. Oh, almost. That harvest hasn't quite gone down, but it's going to, and that will make it a 4th harvest that's gone down. Oh, Bike Rush might not get it. No, he does get it. Oh my god. And 4 harvesters go down there from Senna. All of the Pitbulls for Bike Rush do go down. All of the Orcas do go down. But that's a really effective attack from Bike Rush. Knowing that Senna has gone for this tech play, he knows he's not going to get hit by a massive counter-attack of units. Senna is going to try and move out and counter-attack. There's still actually units in his base as well. He does have a Catalyst missile ready to launch as well. He does have that chem plant. And he's going to try and pull off a counter-attack into Bike Rush's base here. Tries to decoy army. It does fail, unfortunately. Bike Rush has already expanded to a 3rd with a Surveyor. So there you go. Catalyst missile will come down. It'll hit that that refinery. Takes the 2 harvesters down to heavy damage mode. And Redeemer on the way for Senna. See, Tib comes in. Almost gets blown up by the Orca strike straight away. And Senna, again, he's producing this infantry and it's running straight across the Tiberium and dying. So a bit of a misplay there. And oh my god, look at this. Bike Rush already has railguns and has double ref on this field. Needs to transition some harvesters up there, but I don't think Senna knows about this. We have a look. Yeah, Senna has no idea that Bike Rush is already up here. He would probably feel that this game is in a really even state economically. But Bike Rush has moved to an early 3rd, and if Senna does identify this, though, he could punish it, especially with this fast Redeemer. He could maybe move his MCV straight across the map, and Bike Rush wouldn't have a hell of a lot to defend that. Another refinery has been dropped on this field, so Bike Rush is really pumping in economy right now. Railgun's done, as we've already discussed. That Hammerhead's probably going to go straight down. Yeah, there's a little bit too many rockets there, but these APCs and another Hammerhead are coming in to clean up the rest of what is here. Tiberium Core missiles has been completed for Senna. Are we seeing any other upgrades be done? Has he got like laser capacitors? No laser capacitors there. Amp coils is not done. I think that goes there, and laser capacitors goes there, or something like that. Space Command uplink, 2 Juggernauts out on the field. I think Bike Rush is absolutely powering his way to a victory here. Senna is barely able to mine his 1st field, and Bike Rush is already starting to mine on his 3rd field. He's got 3 harvesters there now. He's transitioning 4 harvesters up there. He's taken most of his blue Tiberium. Senna's barely touched his. This game is looking really good for Bike Rush. Infantry being produced by Senna. He sells off the facility straight away. And Bike Rush with these Bloodhound units, trying to just sort of see what Senna's doing. Senna has not made a move to his third field yet, but he's going to move out with this Redeemer and infantry army across the map to Biocrush's base, but Biocrush is already ready for him. Look at this, sniper team's coming in, Juggernauts with Preds, with Rails, and I just don't think Senna's going to be able to break this. The infantry is going to be tough for Biocrush to deal with, because there's just going to be a lot of it coming and sort of swarming across the map. Mammoth tanks coming out. The sniper teams are already there. There's nothing to actually deal with these sniper teams, but the militants are actually going to get in range. Oh, he turns around. He could have killed those snipers. And this is really bad. You don't want your infantry retreating against snipers, because it's really hard to stop them. Is he going for Venoms? Venoms are on the way. Senna needs to make a move with his MCV, and there we go. The MCV is going to start to make a move. This engineer, I'm not sure where he's going. He's going to get sniped by those sniper teams, I imagine. There we go. There he goes. And, oh, who's taking this? Biocrush does have harvesters there, but Senna's actually gone in and taken two loads of that blue Tiberia, but Biocrush is also trying to take it now. And he's actually making a move with his MCV to the bottom right hand. Is that a second MCV? No, his MCV went up here, and now it's moving down. There's a lot of infantry here from Senna, but I don't know. I feel like he needs like some Spectres or some Vertigos or something else to mix in with this infantry, because infantry isn't the potent force that we're so used to seeing. He's actually building Hammerhead snipers, which is a really good choice, because obviously the Venoms, they still do quite a bit of damage versus versus Hammerheads, but they don't pick off Hammerheads close to as quickly as they do pick off the sniper teams when they're just on the ground like that. And here we go, the Hammerheads are going to start to make a move here. The rocket squads also obviously are a lot more effective when it's like this, because they could actually shoot the Hammerheads down and take the snipers with them. Senna has started to expand here. Is this going to be a mine drop that comes in? It's not. Oh, it does just. Oh my god, the MCV is almost right on top of it. But it has going to fail, because there is a sniper team here, so they are going to be able to shoot all of that down. All the Juggernauts shooting into it, but we're going to see a big engagement here. Rage Gen comes down, the Shockwave Artillery has come down as well. The Venoms are starting to pick off the Hammerheads out of the sky, but Biocrush is making the move here. That Redeemer is dropping so quickly in health. Elite Venom there, but I think Biocrush is going to be able to push straight through this position, because there's just nothing here on the ground for Senna anymore. Supersonic is going to miss the Hammerheads just, but all of the infantry has pretty much been cleaned up, and the Redeemer is gone. He's spamming out more infantry, triple racks on the field. But Senna, I think he is just not, he's still not finished off this field. And he's barely touched his third. Biocrush is almost mined out on his third. We can see that on the minimap. And he's going to continue to push forward. Rocket squads, militants, and Venoms here pushing forward. But there's just a little bit too much for Biocrush, I fear. And these Venoms, they don't have any DPS really versus this type of armor. They just don't have enough DPS. Biocrush is spamming rifles, which is a very questionable choice versus not infantry, because they do get mine, or like, you know, they get hallucinogenic grenaded and then they start shooting at each other. But Senna's actually sort of making a move here with this infantry somehow. He's starting to push forward, but now with that, oh, that's just so painful for Senna, because he can't get in range of the Juggernauts now. The Venoms are doing quite a good job at cleaning up these riflemen, but Biocrush is gonna hold this, and Senna's sort of slamming his head against a brick wall right now. He does have quad racks, but he can't afford it. And I think Biocrush is just about to close in for the final push. He's got 4 Juggernauts still, Watchtowers and APCs being placed on the front line. Another War Factory comes down, another Barracks comes down, because he doesn't have enough already, with his $0 in the bank probably. Tech Lab and everything has been sold off, but he just doesn't have the economy to sustain this and defend the attack from Biocrush. Biocrush has all the money in the world. He's building Shatterer tanks now as well, which are going to rip through the infantry from Senna. And the fire cell does begin. Here we are. And that will be GG. And Biocrush will go up in the series 4-2. And that is a pretty dominant performance from Biocrush, really. I mean, that early attack, look at the ecograph, man. And this is the thing, Senna lost those harvesters. He only rebuilt 1. I only saw him rebuild 1 harvester. He lost 4. And then Biocrush was on his 3rd so quickly. And Senna didn't punish it. Senna was too passive in that game. He went for that fast Redeemer and then didn't do anything with it. And that build doesn't work in 1.02. That fast click, fast Redeemer. I mean, it works 1.02, doesn't work in 1.03. It's too slow. And as you can see, this is what happens. Biocrush can just move to a 3rd before Senna can even do anything with his Redeemer. And Senna goes down in that game. He loses It's 4-2 to Bike Rush. Bike Rush is now on match point. But we will see if Senna can respond. He's played well in the series. He should be able to get another win, I reckon. But we'll see in the next game. Welcome back to game number 7 of the series between Bike Rush and Senna. Here on Atacama Road, and in the north of the map again as Red GTI. What a boring guy, man. What a boring guy Bike Rush owns. And in the south of the map, a much more entertaining Steel Talons again from Senna. It's the 4th time he's pinned Steel Talons in the series, but I respect that. If he's picked it or not, I don't care. If he's picked random all series, then that's pretty ridiculous that he's got it more than half of the games so far. 4 games out of 7 he has got Steel Talons, but he does have to win this game. He does have to win this game. Bike Rush on match point. It's 4-2 to Bike Rush. So Senna on the brink here, but he's played very well in this series, so don't count him out just yet. It's always a tough ask to beat Bike Rush, but when he's already on match point, it's an even tougher ask again. A lot of rifles on the right-hand side from Senna here. War Factory does come down. Refinery obviously down for both players. I assume we're going to see a pretty passive game again, but I imagine Bike Rush will probably go for those Orcas really early again, because this is a really good map for Orcas, because you've got this, like these places they can fly in from, and you've also got this part of the map you can fly in from, and even around here you can fly around the back like this. It's just a really nice map for Orcas because you can come in from so many different directions. But Bike Rush, obviously, he will know that better than anyone when the right units are to be used. Again, this Foxhole play from Bike Rush, this is just so annoying, and it's actually so effective as well, because the amount of money that Senna has to spend to deal with the Foxholes plus repairing the power plant, it's actually just a really effective thing to do. These APC rifles are going to clean up that Foxhole there from Senna. This Foxhole isn't shooting just yet, but there we go. Bike Rush gets to it, and look at that. 3 rifles on a power plant, man. You can see it drops its health quite quickly. And you got 3 of them. I don't know if there's any bonus damage to Rifleman in 1.03. I don't believe there is. I know they're tankier, but I don't think they actually do more damage. So I think this would be the same in 1.02. Does lose power, which means the refinery has been dropped. So both players again going for that early 3rd refinery. Nothing out of the ordinary here so far from these guys. Bike Rush is going to continue to put on the pain on that power plant and make a little bit of a move on this left-hand side. He's got rockets and APCs. Pipples and APCs, I should say. And Senna does I see that this is coming now. But he should be fine. He has enough Pipples to defend, and of course with watchtowers as well. They just slowly whittle away at low tier units like this, so he should be fine against this. Is there actually rockets in those APCs there? Yes, there's actually rockets in those APCs, so that's actually a bit of a worry here for Senna, because yeah, they really do rip apart those Pipples when you've got APCs and rockets inside, and he's going to start to have a shot at these harvesters here from Senna, but he does pull back. But this has been a ridiculously good trade for Bike Rush so far. These APC rockets have done a ridiculous amount of damage. Watchtowers are trying to fight against the APCs, and like I said, they slowly whittle down the armor of these units. Oh no, that was a terrible time to lose power, and he's going to lose a harvester for it as well. Does come in, should be able to get that APC. One more shot, almost. Not quite. He actually puts that rocket in the Foxhole here, so Bike Rush making the most of the little units he has on the front line, and this is so infuriating. He has killed so many Pitbulls for such a little cost, and now you can see he's actually starting to take the blue Tiberium, and here we go. Orcas are on the way again. Orca Strike does come in on that refinery. And these APCs and Pitbull are just sitting just outside the range of Senna's base, just taunting him, basically saying, what are you going to do? I'm still here. Making his presence felt. The Orcas are out for Bike Rush. Senna is going for something. He's got Stratofighter. He's got Stratofighter, so I never knew there was a visual to that upgrade. But I guess, is that Stratofighter? I assume it is. I've never knew that was a thing. Anyway, back to the game. Orca Strike does come in on the airfield from Bike Rush. I guess we're going to see Firehawks from Senna. It's going to be Firehawks from center, I imagine. Pitbulls on this side are going to get pushed away because they're going to have to try and deal with Bicrush's Pitbulls, and now the Orcas come in to strike. Whoa, 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 what are your Firehawks doing, bro? No, Senna, what is he doing, man? And now he's going to lose Harvesters over here because his Firehawk's in the wrong spot. Stratifighter's up. He's going to be looking for those Orcas. Does get one Orca, gets two Orcas. Very nice for Senna there. He might lose the Hawk on the way out, though. Oh, that Pitbull doesn't quite finish it off. Behemoth are out. Mortars is done for Senna, but Senna's down to 4 Harvesters. Senna is down to 4 Harvesters. He's going to need to build up some more really quickly because he does not have much left in the bank. Senna's going... Bicrush is going for a Marv. He's going for his own Firehawks. And this is going to be really big issues for Senna because if he loses his air dominance to Bicrush's Hawks, he's going to find it even more difficult to deal with the Firehawks. Oh my god, his Firehawks waste their shots on the Orca strike. Senna now knows that the Hawks are out of ammo. He could maybe go in here. Does he have Stratifighter? No, he doesn't have Stratifighter. Juggernauts are going to be combining with the Marv and trying to take this left-hand side field away from Senna. And of course, with the way that CGF's fixed the Marvesting in this patch, and it pretty much makes no mistakes when Marvesting, and it will pick up every crystal it drives over pretty much, which is a really big buff to the Marv. And the Marvesting, which makes what Bicrush is going to do even more potent than it normally would be, because Senna is going to lose his entire third field. Sometimes maybe you can get lucky as the player who's not got the Marv, and they won't be able to take everything out, but... Well, this could be a big moment. Oh, beacon. He's beaconing the space command. Why is he beaconing that? I'm very confused as to why Bicrush has beaconed that. He's already got double ref on the right hand side. I think this game is over. Bicrush has had to move his Marv back though. He knows he can... Oh my god, look how many Juggernauts he has. And to be fair, Senna has a lot of Behemoth as well, and Behemoth do perform better. So he's got to hope for the... Bicrush has 4 spikes, double ref on this right hand side. Yeah, this is looking really bad for Senna. Senna needs to do something about the economy situation. He either needs to destroy the spikes or take them back. But Bicrush is now taking that garrison, and he's trying to take his ones back. He's building engineers from here, you can see, but has he built more harvesters? He still hasn't built any more harvesters. He has 4 harvesters. No, Senna's got no hope in this game, actually. I mean, I know this is an early call, but you can't be doing this versus Bicrush, man. He's got nothing. He's built an engineer here. He's built a hammerhead to try and deal with that garrison. He's got an engineer moving around, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah. He's actually blocking his harvester's pathing as well by having all these units here. Beacon, 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 and receiving data. Please wait a moment. I didn't fast forward. What is going on? Okay, that's weird. I've never seen that before. Wait. Well, I wonder if anyone's seen that before. A rifleman just killed a hammerhead. I don't think we've ever seen that before. I mean, I know I haven't. I don't know about you guys, but I have never seen that happen before. Obviously, what happened is the hammerhead was sort of hovering over the terrain here, which brought it to a level where the hammerhead could shoot at it. But I've never seen it happen before. That is bizarre. This Juggernaut obviously took a bad rally around. Composite armor is done for Bicrush, so his infantry is even more potent than it otherwise would be. And I think Bicrush is moving in for the kill. He's got a lot of Juggernauts, but he does have to be careful. There's always this thing when you've got units that drop husks that you can throw the game. It's as simple as that. You can throw the game. We saw that with Senna on the map on Tiberium Rift. He threw the game because he gave Bicrush all of those tripod husks. Biocrush could do the same thing here. If he loses his Juggernauts in a bad engagement and Senna's able to claim the husks, he's back in the game. It's as simple as that. But Biocrush needs to get a ridiculously bad engagement for that to happen. And the Shockwave has come in from both players here. Senna's hits first, but it's going to miss the Marv, and the Marv is now going to get in range, and the Rocket Squads are also going to get in range of the Behemoth. There's a Commando in there somewhere. I heard, yeah, there we go. There's a Commando in there taking out the Behemoth as well. Biocrush's Marv is probably going to go down, but all his Juggernauts are standing. Actually, the Marv might not go down, you know, because this freaking Commando has gone ballistic, and that's going to be it. Senna is dead. Senna is out. He's got no army left. And that's going to be it for Senna. And Biocrush will win the series 5-2. Well played to Biocrush Owens. Yet again showing he is the man to beat. He is the one that the pack is chasing. Senna though, man, I don't know. If he won that game on Tiberium Rift and then followed it up with a win on LA, he would have been 3-2 up in the series. And it would have been a very interesting how that played out differently when he had all that momentum. Oops. Just knocked my mic over. Well done. But that'll be it for this series. Well played to Biocrush. Well played to Senna. I thought he played quite well, even though the result probably doesn't show as well as he played. But that's a GG, and see you later from me. Biocrush wins 5-2. I'll catch you guys in.